Genesis. Oh, you're looking great. Welcome to those of you on Facebook. Looks like Kelly is our communication link for those of you on Facebook this morning. So if this is your first time streaming with us, please just tell us your name and maybe how you found us. For those of you who are veterans at this with Genesis, please say hi and let us know that you're here and maybe what's going on with you. We do check those things. Appreciate it. So Genesis is in the middle of its minister search. So we are continuing that process. And as a part of that process, we read together our Sacred Covenant Easy Prayer. So you'll find that here. And if we could read that together and add some real juice to that today. There's only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to glorify God, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of God as love. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by God, for it is written, I dwell in the house of love. Love attends me in my home of the soul. I shall never leave this home of the spirit. I shall abide in this home forevermore. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister before me as revealing the truth and power of love. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth about myself, for I am powerfully expressing divine love, inspiring all to do the same. I am blessing and honoring all paths of spirituality, awakening deeper truths and spiritual growth. I am a place where God shows up, expressing divine love, allowing truth and joy to heal all. I am embracing, teaching, and exploring spiritual truths from diverse spiritual teachings. I am teaching and embodying prosperity, trusting that God is the source of my good. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they will be revealed in a way that will glorify God and serve the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful, God is gracious, and so it is. Just a few brief announcements. All of the details, the full information can be found on our Facebook page, on our website, on Eventbrite, and on Meetup. Here's what they are. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. via Zoom, practitioner Cynthia Zink and myself, Karen Williams, facilitate an intention circle. This circle has its purpose and intention in co-creating miracles in our lives and in the world. Love offering is appreciated for that, 7 p.m. On Monday, the 17th, next Monday, Healers and Hunters men's group is from 6:30 to 8:30, and that is facilitated by our practitioner Dave Pennick and Jim Monson. It's a Genesis men's group, and the mission is for men to get together, connect, and share what is going on in their lives, and you can connect with them if you're interested in that. Care circles at Genesis. If you are not a member of a care circle and are interested in co-creating family and community, this is one way to do that at Genesis. We meet once a month in a member's home or via Zoom to do spiritual practice, share, care, and connect. So if you are interested in doing that, please see me after service today. So do we have any first-timers in our facility today? Yeah, would you be willing to just say your name? And
Sandra.
Hi, Sandra. And then we have Sonia Vargas, our minister's message today. We'll hear more about her. Anybody on Facebook? No? Okay. Well, welcome in, everybody. We appreciate that you are here with us. So this is the time for me to remind you, if you did not pick up this little prayer card offering envelope combination thing, Andrew is here, and if you raise your hand, he will bring that to you. I want to thank our volunteers who are in service today. They are who make this service move smoothly. And I'm going to start with Cynthia Zink because she is our foundational member at this. She is our volunteer coordinator. So if there is something that you would like to see happening at Genesis and you want to put some juice into that, Cynthia is who you would talk to do that. She is also our greeter before service and creates these handy dandies. Jim Monson is in the booth running sounds and light while Soren is healing. Michael Johns is running our camera. Thank you, Michael. He also does the projector behind me. Andrew Young is our usher and will be collecting our offering. And as I mentioned before, Kelly is your communication link on Facebook. You know what? And I also want to mention, as I just said that we're not only on Facebook, we are also on YouTube. So if you are there, Kelly's the one that's going to be monitoring that as well. Kelly is, since I'm invoking her name, I want to mention that she's the administrator at Genesis during this period of time, and she is doing a beautiful job. If there are any questions you have about what is happening or how it's happening, you can always reach out to Kelly, and she is here on most Sundays, or you can reach her through our website or through Facebook. Thank you, Kelly. You are awesome. Everybody, for Kelly. Honestly, been there, done that, and she deserves a round of applause. So this morning, Christine S. facilitated our meditation. Christine S. always flows very beautifully in a meditation. If you haven't had a chance to be present to one of her meditations, or if you weren't able to attend this morning, I would encourage you to head over to YouTube or to our Facebook page, our website, and access that. Those are available there repeatedly. Each of us practitioners, you can find us there and revisit those meditations. So we are going to sink in now to the heart of our service, which is our message. And so we do that by singing this song that was written by our own Reverend Eric Odell. He put this together and with the band has created this beautiful invocation. So if you'll join me in singing Out Beyond. Good morning, my name is Karen Williams, and I'm a practitioner here at Genesis Center for Spiritual Living, and I will be doing our reading and invocation. This is from 365 Slants of Mind, Ernest Holmes. It is October 9. God lives in me and enlarges my life. This life within me, being God, did not begin, and it cannot end. Hence, I am immortal and eternal. I can never be less, but must forever be more myself as this life within me unfolds through my experience, through my gathering of knowledge and accumulation of wisdom. I recognize the omnipresent good. I acknowledge it. I prosper in all my affairs. Perfect success is mine. All the mistakes I have ever made are wiped out, and today the busyness of living is the activity of God within me. Giving, I receive, and receiving, I give out again. thus increasing the divine bounty that meets me at every turn. God within me creates every circumstance and situation I have ever experienced. They are the fruits of my thoughts. By my right thinking and right use of this law of liberty, I allow my imagination to enlarge my experience. The life principle within me responds with a greater abundance, harmony, and good flowing to me. Like a horizon where the earth and sky appear to meet, this apparent and continually opens up a wider expanse to me. This is my concept of God, the unlimited creator of all experience. God lives in me and enlarges my life. And so we'll pray. And I begin with that life that is back of all life, that creative power, that unfolding of love, as me, as each of us gathered here, as all beings everywhere. I acknowledge and proclaim the power and presence of good in and as life itself, all life, everywhere, unconditionally. No matter what circumstances appear in front of us, no matter what conditions we might be experiencing, the good that is life itself is in the center of that. And it is my joy, my great privilege to acknowledge that and know that there is good in it. Therefore, allowing me to be at peace, whatever it is that I'm finding discomfort with. And this power is inherent in the word. It is inherent in life. It is free to all beings. It is our birthright to know that wherever we are and what we are doing, we are safe. We are safe. There's only this one life, and it is immortal, and it is good. And so knowing that this is so, I give a moment of gratitude to those of us who have gathered here, who have taken this conscious life. We've taken this conscious participation with the way life unfolds and shows up. We've taken responsibility. I bless all of that because I know for each of us, there's another who could stand beside us and benefit from that. I want to thank and acknowledge the power and presence of life as it unfolds as good in Reverend Sonia. That she has said yes to that thing, that unfolding, and knowing that it is good, has been willing to offer it to us here at Genesis Center for Spiritual Living, knowing that it is a continuing unfolding. I allow this service to just be the continuation of that blessing, and so it is. So I'm going to welcome up our very own Christine S. Young, who is with Second Shot this morning.
Where I
wanted to say a little bit. I wanted to introduce our speaker this morning. Reverend Sonia Vargas is an ordained minister at CSL Ravenna in Seattle who specializes in retreat ministry. She laces her workshops and retreats with inspired readings, music, conversation, and deep reflection. She has done workshops on Stauffer's Unconditional Love and Forgiveness, Desmond Tutu's work on the Book of Forgiving, Michael Singer's The Untethered Soul, and Brene Brown's Daring Greatly. She has conducted inspiring retreats on Maui as well as in Woodinville, Washington. So would you please help me welcome Reverend Sonia Vargas to the stage.
Good morning. Thank you so much. Wow. It is just a delight to be here. And I guess I raised my hand saying that I hadn't been, but I haven't been to the Carco Theater. I have been, because you are an extension of my spiritual family. It's just been a little while. I was a visitor when Rev Charles was in the house. So, and I met Rev Charles when I was just a wee one. We were wee ones. Yeah, he's younger than me, so I won't say how young I was. But it was 30 years ago. So, hi friends, I see you out there. I wanted to, I've been contemplating, so I know that you're in a study of the 4 pillars of faith. Last week, Reverend Eric, who I had the honor of attending ministerial school with and being in his choir for many years, the Choir of Light, talked about faith as experience and how we develop faith through experience. And next week, you get to learn about faith through the spiritual mind treatment, which is the best. And this week, I'm in the 2nd pillar, sharing with you how ancient wisdom and the New Thought teaching can help us overcome every challenge, weather life's challenges. And when I enter into a study of faith, when I have been entering into this study to prepare for this talk, to let God speak through me, I do a lot of study in my brain and research, and things come to me, and then I have to get out of the way. And what then happens is the music starts to come forth. Right, so while I was studying, Faith Rivera's song came up, and thankfully Christine S. knows it, God is. And it kept coming back to this idea for me, and I hope you might relate to this, that it's not about faith, a belief in something, but it's faith for us, and this teaching is an action. It's through us. We are not passively just believing in something, knowing it's going to work out. But instead, we are a positive action. And we get to be that positive action, that light, in wherever we are, in our lives, with our families, in our workplaces, in the grocery store. Or today when I offered to put my hands on our beloved practitioners' feet. And it's just a little gift, right? We can give that gift. It can be as simple as a smile. But what you receive from me as I offer, whatever it is, the simple gift that I have, which is my life. And it's my life knowing that I'm one with something beautiful, greater than I am. So it kept coming to me that it is the intersection, faith is our intersection with acknowledging the all that is, and beauty, love, peace, And then going inside and knowing that that is who I am, and that is who each of us is. That's pretty powerful work right there. So we say a lot in this philosophy, I live and move and have my being. What does that mean? I live and move and have my being in limitless, infinite intelligence. I live and move and have my being in spirit eternal. I live and move and have my being in, what is it you have your being in? Peace. I live and move and have my being in joy. There was a time in my life when that was a difficult concept to embody. And the shift that we all have the gift of moving through, we talk about the stages of consciousness. Have you talked about the stages of consciousness here? This idea that once I realize that I'm connected to something beautiful, this power, this presence, and I can commune with it, I can go inside and recognize that which is living me. I now have a way, I now have a tool by which I can meet any of life's challenges. So I want you to imagine, I'm sure, does anybody have any challenges? No challenges, everything's cool. Yeah, okay, so just pick one. Just pick one, because it's good to start small. And even it could be a small thing, right? This person's annoying me. My family member won't do what I want them to do. Whatever it is, some small little, we talk about irritation. There comes a time when the irritation, gets to turn into a pearl. But right now it's just this annoying abrasion in our life, right? So I want you to consider what that might be and tell me when you have it. Yeah. Okay. And in one hand, I want you to hold, so like physically, I want you to physically hold all the human experience of this burden in one hand and feel that in one hand. And all the ways that you may have tried to fix the problem on your own. So feel that weight. And then I want you to take a moment and I want you to consider what quality of the divine might be asking you to connect with it through this problem, through this irritation. So you might find I'll give you an example. For a while, I thought my mom wasn't available. Of course, she's a minister of a spiritual center and very busy. But as long as I was thinking she wasn't available to me, the problem stayed, and I was trying to fix it by making myself available. Or just being upset or hurt. So when I start to look at God in this situation, and I realize that I came up with an affirmation to help me, it was, I am my connection with my family. I am my connection with my family. So in this hand, I'm putting the spiritual truth. In my other hand, I'm putting the spiritual truth of that irritation, that problem. And I want you to take a moment to, you can come up with an affirmation, you can come up with just a symbol. What would help you remember that there's something bigger at work, that you are connected to a source in the power and presence of love? And with love, all things are possible. And so if you think you have that thing, the symbol or the affirmation or the quality of the divine, in your other hand, can you feel its weight? Yeah, and if you think you have it, can you just let me know? I'll give you a couple minutes. Good. So in this hand is the possibility. This is the faith. Not in something outside, but the faith that there is an activity of good, divine, right order, action, moving and possible through me. Feel that, and then go back to feeling the irritation in the small mind, the ego self, of how you were hurt or wronged or harmed, or what is not working right now in your life. And I just want you to feel. Did you know, if you notice, feel in your body where it might live? Like, where do the two live? Do you have another sense of yourself in this hand of possibility, in the divine, in the arms of love? And go back to your irritation and trying to do it all yourself. So I notice I feel, for myself, I feel a more lightness of being in kind of an expansive feeling. In the problem hand that I'm holding on too tightly, I feel constricted, like it feels like my whole body is kind of like caving in on itself. That's how I feel. These are just my thoughts about it. So in this process, we have this fabulous process of rewiring available to us. We can take a little irritation and overlay the spiritual principle, the quality of the divine that will serve us in this particular instance. And in my case, connection was what I was seeking. And I was looking for connection outside of myself. I was looking for someone to give that to me. And when I could shift my perspective on that, and to know that all things are given in God. Like, it's just because I was born, because you were born. That is what's so exciting about it. You were born and you got all these gifts. And pretty soon the challenges that we encounter in life start to become something we can actually look forward to or celebrate. I know that's it takes a little while to develop that practice in. But to know that I can shift anything that comes in my life. And I literally have had my house destroyed in a flood, like gone, all of it. I have had everything taken away. In, not my life. I've had challenges, as I know each of you have. And we're living in a world of challenges. And the world needs the light and the presence of love now. And it needs to activate in each of us now. There's no more time. This is it. We were called. I believe we were born to this time. Like Abraham Lincoln said, was he called? Was he there for the reason? Yes, he was called to the time and he rose to that occasion. And I do believe that we were born now for this reason. In the ancient Hindu teachings, they talk about 5,000 year cycles. And I think also in the Mayan tradition, there's ancient teachings of the 5,128 year cycles. And we're actually, according to the Mayan calendar, we are actually I think we're in the last 8 of a cycle, which is the cycle of destruction. And there is a lot going on right now, as you know, as you're living, as we're all living. So what is really exciting is that it's also the ending of the cycle. And my belief is that we're here to be points of light, to within ourselves, cultivate a strong faith so that we can share that and we can build community wherever we are, and not just one community, lots of communities. Wherever you are, you have an opportunity to build community. In whatever circle you're in, you have that opportunity to build community. And I hope that you do. We need each other. We're not here alone on this planet. We're here to help each other. And the best way I know to help is to go and understand that the immense greatness of the universe, which you see in these fabulous telescope photographs, right? I mean, if you didn't know it already, we live in an expanding universe. And that expansion is the same expansion that we have inside. That's what's exciting. Each of us carries an infinite inner world. And it's creative, and it's alive, and it's intelligent. And we have the power to connect and use it. And we can use our power for good, and we can use our light for good, and we can use our love for good. This is why we came. This is why we were born. Wow. That's exciting to me. So God is. I am. When I was 16, I had a beautiful opportunity. So I'll just say a little background. I want to say a little something. Thank you for playing my rewiring game. Thank you for participating. So I was 6 when my grandparents took me to Unity, and I loved it. My parents had decided they didn't want to do a tradition, but I was playing in the creek, and I just had this, and I loved the trees, and I had this sense of something bigger, I felt connected to all of life. I did, and it was through putting my feet on the dirt and going in the creek and climbing trees. And then I had these beautiful grandparents. Is anybody a grandparent? That is a high holy work. It is best. Thank you for putting your love into the world in that particular unique gift of grandpa, grandma to the children. But I had this unique experience of my grandpa just taking me around and saying, where's God? And he would ask me, and, that tree and that person. And so I think I already came in a little bit with that, but he anchored it in with me. While my parents were like, we don't want organized religion. And I was always longing for something, so I would beg people to take me with them to whatever. They looked at me like I was crazy. Who wants to go to catechism class? Or like, no, I'm not taking you. That's strange. But I tried to learn from as many different people that would let me tag along. And I had this great gift of starting a new thought at age 6. When I was in high school, a friend of my mom, and then my mom kind of got into all kinds of interesting things that weren't necessarily new thought. until she did land into religious science of mind, when I was 16. But at the age of about 15 or 16, a friend of my mom's grabbed me, and she knew I had been through some pretty big life challenges already. And she said, we're gonna go do this once a week. If you're willing, I'm gonna take you, I'll pick you up and we'll drive all the way. This is in Austin, Texas. We'll drive all the way to the other part of Austin, South Austin, for this special Unity minister who was completely interested and absorbed in the philosopher Gurdjieff. Have you heard of Gurdjieff? Gurdjieff and Ouspensky was the work that the work by Maurice Nicole. And if you don't know this philosopher leader, it's, if you know anything about the Enneagram or the personality tests that they use today, a lot of that is founded in Gurdjieff's philosophies. And it was basically a mystery school. So I had this gift in high school to go once a week to study with this man who was just immersed in this book. And I got some books and I was reading. And one thing, every week we would just talk about what we observed. And that was it. And the next week I go, I wonder what we're going to talk about. And what we talk about is the many selves that we have. And I noticed this self was doing this, and this self reacted in this way. And people would share their experience of these many selves. And I kept thinking something else was going to happen, like there was going to be some teaching, or like I was going to. But every week it was the same. And I finally got it. It's the power of self-observation that does the changing, right? It was just that simple. And it was a pretty profound moment for me as a young person. And it also helped me consider, that I don't have to identify with all of these selves as I call these many selves back home, as I call them home to my center, to the center of my being, and connect. Because these are not the true selves necessarily. I mean, we have these aspects, but they're not necessarily that which is my true divine, being that's perfect, whole, and complete. It's not necessarily that. And how simple is the practice, but just to observe. Just start to observe. And it's okay to observe that this self is, a little fretful or a little worried about the future. And this self is angry. And why? Because as we start to observe, we start to find that kernel of truth that will lead us back to the heart. So we live and move and have our being in this one life. We are interconnected, and we cannot not be connected with all of life, with all of each other. And so when I see you, I see my sister, I see my brother, I see life living through you, and I'm excited and curious about who you are and how I can learn and grow from you. And I hope that we could carry that attitude into the world, all of us. That's a world I want to live in. That's a world I do live in, actually. But it's the world I choose, and I've cultivated. I had many experiences where I could have chosen another path. I could have chosen to stay in resentment and anger for unforgivable things. And it's not easy, but it is simple. Everything you need is available to you now. Everything I need is available to me through the grace of God. And that is good. So I breathe a deep sigh of relief, knowing that God is, I am, that there's only one life. And I know it's time for you to pull out your prayer cards, and I'd love for you to do that now. If you have them in your hand, and if you're at home. I have faith in the power of Spirit to move mountains through me, and I have the same faith for you. And so whatever it is you're feeling called to write on your prayer card, please do so now. And I'll give you a moment. What bubbled forth for you in this talk that you would love support with? Because we are stronger as a community, we're stronger in the Sangha, we can work together. And raise your hand if you have that complete. Did you get it correct? Would you like one? Okay, we'll get one for you. And if you're ready, does everyone have, raise your hand, yeah, if you're still reading. I'll give a little prayer treatment on behalf of your prayer request. And then we'll welcome our wonderful music ministry team back up. And so I'm just so grateful to connect to the all that is, the life, the source of all beauty, power, presence, light, love. I know that there's just one life, and that life is the very life that indwells each person here. It indwells the I am presence. I align with this goodness, this power, this presence of love, of beauty, of truth. And I know I cannot be separate from this one life. And as I know this for myself, I know this for each of you. And that request, that longing of your heart, the thing that you wrote on your card, that is your gift. Yes, yes, I say yes to that which you have put on your card. What is your heart longing for? What would you like support with? Yes. With God, all things are possible, and they are coming into being in this moment. So I give great thanks for this, knowing that I am not alone, and you are not alone. We are so supported by life itself, by all that lives and moves and has our being in it, which is God, which is good. And I simply release this blessing into the power of good, knowing it will not come back to me void, for my word is powerful. And so it is, so be it, blessed be, and amen. Thank you.
Faith can light the path. Faith can heal the darkest hour. So thank you, Sonia, for taking care of our prayer requests. And so now I want to move into our offering. In Genesis, our center, our beloved center, is supported by God. And this is an opportunity for God to show up as you, as your gift today. So please take a minute and craft a gift for your community. So now if you feel called to, take your prayer card and your offering and hold it to your heart. We say our offering blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am thankful. And so while Andrew comes around and collects these cards, we will sing together, God is our source.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my joy, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
And so I acknowledge that we have invoked the law of circulation. As we give, so shall we receive. This offering, pressed down, multiplied, and overflowing with good to all beings everywhere. And so it is.
So it is.
Oh, thank you. Yes. All right, join us for our closing song. Stand up.